You are. All right. First, I want you to do good morning, boys and girls. I'm here in the Norwood Avenue Elementary School Library with two second grade classes. Why don't you say hello to them second grade classes? Give them a wave. There you are. Make sure we got everybody. I know it's part of your contract. You have to be on. Okay, let's bring it back over here. And today, boys and girls, we're going to read a story called Snapsy the Alligator. Here's Snapsy. Does Snapsy look happy or sad to you? Or maybe a little mad? I don't know. A little angry? Well, we'll find out, right? You know what I like to do with books? When I first see the cover of a book or the title of the book, I got to try to think about what's this book going to be about? Like predict. What are you thinking? All right, let's find out what happens, though. Yes, dear.
I think it's going to be about like an alligator who's on the beach and he's trying to give like a speech.
All right, let's see what happens. Good idea. What do you think?
On the speech board it says, I did not ask to be in this book, so it's worried about not being in this book.
All right, so now he's already telling us something, right? I did not ask to be in this book, he says. So Snapsy doesn't look like he wants to be here, right? He didn't ask to be in this book. All right, let's see what happens. And yes. Okay, this book is by Julie Velatko, and the pictures are by a person named Tom Miller. And there's Snapsy doing a bunch of things, ironing and juggling and taking a bath and eating and doing a hula dance and playing a banjo, riding on a scooter. You see him doing all those different things? You guys got to take a look too. See if I got you. There we go. All right, let's take a look now. Let's get into the book. Snapsy the Alligator. What does it say?
I did not ask to be in this book.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound promising, does it? Look at Snapsy now. Snapsy the Alligator wasn't feeling like himself. His feet felt draggy. His skin felt baggy. His tail wouldn't swish this way and that way. You know how alligators' tails go like that when they're walking and stuff?
No.
And worst of all, his big jaw wouldn't snap. Take a look, everybody, at Snapsy. There he is. He was not feeling himself that day. Now, who's telling the story? Snapsy's not telling it. Somebody else is telling the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we call it the narrator, right? Somebody's telling a story, and we're listening to that person. So Snapsy's not. Now, Snapsy, remember what the person said. Snapsy's not feeling himself. His skin is baggy. His feet are draggy. Worst of all, his tail wouldn't swish this way, and his jaw wouldn't snap. So he's already telling us some things about Snapsy. What does Snapsy say? This is terrible. I'm just hungry. Why is this rude narrator trying to make it seem that I need to take a nap? So Snapsy's not happy with the narrator, is he? He's saying, you got it all wrong. I'm just hungry. I'd like something to eat. So there's Snapsy. All right. And he's saying that. See it? Let me back it up a little bit. That's better. So what happens? So Snapsy went off in search of food. He's got his binoculars out. He's looking for food. You see him up here? Okay. He walked along the edge of a pond. See the pond at the bottom there? Let's see if you guys can see. See the pond at the bottom, everybody? Okay. Let's see what happens at the pond. Pretty cool. He scooted up the tall hill. That's a very tall hill, isn't it? And he got his scooter to go all the way up there. Take a look. Look how long that hill is. Let me back this up so you can see it. That's a really steep hill. He shimmied through the forest.
I think I know how he got up there.
How?
There's like, at the bottom of the hill, there's like a little store.
Jungle scooter. And he took a scooter to get up there. But even so, how many people have ridden a scooter? It's hard to go up something that's really that steep. I think it's impossible just about, right?
I have.
Have you?
I went on something almost like that, except a little bit more.
A little bit less, right? Like that wasn't straight up like this. This is kind of. You're an awful narrator, Snappy says. You're just describing what you see in the illustrations. So he's angry with the narrator. You're awful. You don't know what I'm doing. You're just looking at the pictures and figuring out what's going on. And there he is. Let's see what happens next. Snapsy, the big mean alligator, kept looking for food. He liked to eat tiny, defenseless birds and soft, fuzzy bunnies. Look at all those bunnies and birds. And see, there they are. That's what he liked to eat. Who's telling us that? Is Snapsy telling us that?
No.
Who's telling us? The narrator. He prowled through the forest looking for victims. There he is, looking around. He's looking for something to eat. Take a look. There he is. Okay. All right. He came to a grocery store. See? I don't know. I haven't seen too many alligators in grocery stores, have you? But that's where he came. And Snapsy says, it's just a store, a grocery store. It's where I buy my food. So the narrator was saying he likes to look for little bunnies and birds. And he says, no, I don't. I go to the grocery store and I get my food there. So let's see what happens. He's not happy with the narrator, is he?
No.
And there's Snapsy. While loading his cart with pudding, peanut butter, pita bread, and popcorn, yes, Snapsy the alligator was particularly fond of a certain letter of the alphabet. Let's listen to what he liked. Pudding, peanut butter, pita bread, and popcorn. What letter does he seem to like? P. And there he is, loading up his cart. And then Snapsy says, I don't only eat food that starts with the letter P. You don't have to make it seem like I only buy storybook food. I'm also buying cheddar, apples, pretzels, pasta, and pears. Uh-oh, there's that P again. I don't know. Aha! It's just a coincidence, he says. And here's a shopping list. Pickles, pretzels, pears, peanut butter, cheddar, pita bread, and pasta. Only one of those things, cheddar, it didn't start with a P, right? But Snapsy says it's just a coincidence. He happens to like that food. Let's see what happens here. Snapsy, the big, mean, hungry alligator who only liked food that started with the letter P, carried his groceries back through the forest, back down the hill, back around the pond, until he got to a surprisingly lopsided shack. So there's Snapsy taking the food. He had to go back the same way he came, right? All those things he had to pass again. And there's that big hill again, but now it's pretty easy because he's going down the hill, right? And then he says he got to a surprisingly lopsided shack. What's lopsided mean?
That means it's not straight.
Not straight, kind of tipping over.
Like my house.
You know, everybody, your house is tipping over?
A little bit.
Well, everybody's house is a little bit because what happens after they build a house kind of settles in. But lopsided really means a house that's almost on its side. And what does Snapsy say? Oh, you're really cheesing me off. It's my house. I built it myself. And look at the sign he hangs on the door. No narrators allowed. He doesn't want the narrator in there. He's pretty mad.
There's a little bathtub in that picture.
What are you saying?
A little bathtub in the picture.
Is a little one? Where is it? I got a water bucket here. Oh, back here? That's a little swimming pool he had on the way back to his house. Let's take a look. What happens next? Snapsy the alligator took his groceries into his splinter-laden shed and slammed the door. So now he's saying there are all splinters around. But the wood is kind of chipping quite hard. He was inside. still inside. So this narrator is describing Snappy's house. He doesn't sound like a very nice place, is it? It's full of splinters. It's lopsided. It's fallen down. And I don't know. Snapsy didn't come out. He stayed inside. See? There's the door. It's closed. See it? What was he doing in there? Was he making crafty plans? Was he roasting innocent forest creatures that he already had stored in his freezer? Had he fallen asleep? He keeps making Snappy sound like he goes around chasing all these little birds and bunny rabbits, right? And Snapsy went to the grocery store. Let's see what Snapsy says. Let's see what he's doing in there. And Snapsy says, I made a peanut butter sandwich and now I'm reading a book. Well, you have to come out. The story is really boring now, the narrator says. So all Snapsy was doing was having a peanut butter sandwich and reading a book. He wasn't roasting innocent forest creatures, was he? You must know I'm planning if you must know, Snappy says, I'm planning a party. And on it says, Party of the Century. Guest list, George, Filbert, Henrietta, Walt, Linus, Wanda, and Sergio. That's all Snapsy was doing. But the narrator says, Snapsy the alligator, trying to better his reputation with the other animals, decided to throw a party. That's not what Snapsy was saying, was it? The narrator's saying it. He wanted to have a party for his friends. Snapsy vacuumed the rug. He made goodie bags for all his guests. Wait, those aren't goodie bags. He's just taking out the garbage. Snapsy should really put out goodie bags for his guests. They love those. Now, let me ask you a question. We've been reading this story. Does Snapsy agree with the narrator most of the time? No. It's like the narrator's not watching Snapsy. He's just making up a story, right? And Snapsy keeps correcting him. Let's see what happens. You know what? Snapsy says, I did not ask to be in this book. I was just having a normal day. And suddenly you were talking about what I was doing. So I'm throwing a party to make things more interesting. I hope you're happy. Now I just want you to buzz off. He's getting tired of the narrator. You're making all this stuff up that I'm doing. No good. He was just having a normal day. So, guess the narrator was leaving. Snapsy says, thank you. Oh, go ahead. I can hear you breathing. So the narrator didn't really leave. He's still hanging around. Okay, so there's Snapsy. He tells the narrator, all right, I can still hear you breathing. Snapsy's party was shaping up to be quite a festive event. Colorful streamers hung from the ceiling. There were cubes of cheese and a bowl of punch. Some kind of danceable music was playing. Then Snapsy's friends started to arrive. Who's the first friend in the door there? Couple. You got a couple of you. Tell me what you see. Say?
A hippo.
A hippo, a bunny, and a duck, and a little sheep. You see it? And take a look. The guests start to arrive. There's the sheep here. See him? Or her? So Snapsy's friends started to arrive. That's pretty good. They were laughing and dancing. They weren't hungry or thirsty. They looked like they were having a really good time. Yes, a fine time indeed. Now, how can he tell that they're not hungry or thirsty? I don't know. I think they might be hungry. I would think some of them are hungry or thirsty. What do you see?
Jelsky, please call the main office.
Where are these characters? Where is the bunny rabbit going? Getting some food. So there's that narrator again, kind of twisting the story around. Oh, make sure you guys saw it. You see it? If you look over at the table there, over here, there's a bunny rabbit looking to get some food, and there's a pig on the end of the thing there, also getting some food. See the pig and the bunny rabbit?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens now. Pretty good story. And Snapsy goes to the door and says, "Oh, all right, you can come in." And who's out there? A chicken. Oh, gosh, me? The humble narrator? Aha, so now we know who the narrator is. A chicken. Oh, gosh, me? The humble narrator? Well, I don't know. Let me check my calendar. I suppose I could come for an hour or two. Someone has to demonstrate the proper dance steps. Narrator has a lot on her mind, right? Or his mind. All the important guests had finally arrived, and while Snappy's sharp teeth were still glinting menacingly, he was actually a lovely host. Now, also, was Snappy, you see Snappy's teeth glinting? Like he was like, "Arr." You see him doing that? So what's that narrator doing again? Changing it up. Does anyone want pudding? And Snapsy has a big bowl of chocolate pudding. Aha, says the narrator, because pudding is really good. How many people like pudding? How many people like chocolate pudding? Me. Here it is. There's Snapsy with the big bowl of pudding. And we ate all the pudding and did the chicken dance. We were really looking forward to Snapsy throwing parties like this every week, says the narrator. Looks like they had a pretty good time, right? They had plenty to eat. They danced around. Everybody looks pretty happy. They all look pretty, like sleepy even. I think they had too much to eat. And Snapsy just says, because he says, we're really, the narrator, see it? We are really looking forward to Snapsy throwing parties like this every week. Snapsy says, hey. He didn't want to throw a party every week, did he?
No.
So this is an interesting story. I have never read a story like this, where the narrator, first of all, you don't know who the narrator is many times in stories, right? Somebody telling the story. And now we not only know who the narrator is, but the narrator is arguing with the main character in the book. That's fun, isn't it? Snapsy the alligator. I like reading stories. Do you?
Yeah.
Me too. And some stories I like so much, sometimes I go back and I read them again. Some, not right away, but like if I read it now, maybe in a couple of months, I would, let's read that story again. That happened last year with Story Time. I was right in the middle of a story, and I said to Mr. Pisano, who was here at the time, I said, I think we read this one already. And he said, I think we did too. But we read it anyway. We kept going. Nobody called up and said, don't do it. Now, what kind of books do you like to read? Pony books? Say again? Okay, well, and those are stories that we read because we don't want to behave that way, right? It's a good thing.
Short books.
Say again?
Short books.
Short books, okay. Short.
Realistic fiction chapter books.
Realistic fiction chapter books. I don't think I ever read one. I did. I have read one. That's wonderful. And fiction is fun, right? Sometimes it's serious. What does fiction mean?
Fake.
Fake. It's not real. It's not like really. Like if we wrote a story about the class, that would be nonfiction because you're real. But if I wrote a story and said there were these children sitting in front of me today, and they all came in on a spaceship this morning, that's fiction. You didn't come in on a spaceship. You came in on a school bus.
Dog Diaries.
Dog Diaries? Nice.
Captain Underpants.
I've seen those around. I haven't read one. My grandson is in 5th grade, and they were floating around the house. I probably have to read one of those. Is it good? Yeah? I like elephant. And Piggy?
I love that too.
You like that too?
Yeah, and even Pidgey.
Pidgey? Oh, is that the pigeon?
Yeah.
Pete? Is that Pete?
No, Pigeon.
He's just.
Oh, pigeon.
Yeah.
There was another book with pigeons in it, though. What was the name of that? I think it was Pete the Pigeon, wasn't it?
I know.
No?
Pete the cat.
Pete the cat. Pete the cat.
Pete the Cat. That's who it is, not Pete the Pigeon. I've seen the pigeon books too. I got myself mixed up. Chapter books. Well, you're ready. You're all ready to read chapter books right now.
Yeah.
But you're starting to. Yeah, well, that's what happens. Because this is not a chapter book, right? It's one story, beginning to end. Chapter books take longer to read, right? But I like chapter books because then if I read a little bit today, then when I come back to it, I can, the story goes on and on and on for a while. Yes. Puppy books,
I like reading fiction chapter books.
fiction chapter books.
Diary of the Wimpy Kid.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Yeah. Say,
Diary of the
the
Wimpy
kid. You like that? How many like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books? Pretty popular, huh? All right, who else? All the way back.
Me?
Yep.
I like Dog Man.
Dorman. And what about you? What, right next to him?
Chapter books.
Chapter books. Okay.
Owl Diaries.
Okay. Owl Diaries. Okay. All the way.
The Pigeon.
The Pigeon. Okay.
Comic books.
Comic books. Okay.
Judy Jones.
Say again.
Judy Jones.
And who is that? A character in one of the books? Nice.
Dr. Seuss books.
Dr. Seuss. Me too. I like Dr. Seuss a lot.
I like
Yeah.
it too. Dog Man.
Say again.
Dog Man.
Dog Man.
Anyone but Celia.
Say again.
Anyone but Celia.
Oh wow, that's a mouthful. You like those books? Nice.
You can know if it's fiction or non-fiction because it starts with the F, and that means it's fake, and then non-fiction means it's not.
Way to remember it. Fiction starts with an F. That word, right? And so does the word fake. And nonfiction starts with an N, and it's not fake. Very good way to remember it. Yes, dear. Okay. What's it? Mo Willems? Okay. Well, I'm glad you like to read. Now, I hope that you are enjoying the conversation. I wish you were here with us. So let me put it over here so you can see your colleagues at Norwood. There they are. Say goodbye to them. Have a great day. Have a wonderful day. We'll be back again. What a